Hi guys, what are we going to do today? Today we are going to do another paper cut. I'm going to show you, depending on what you put it on, you get such a different look from it. So we are going to do this on white, but you could add it and cut it out of anything else to put behind it. Let's get started. So we're going to start with this template, and at the bottom of the video, I'll bring you to the link for the template for this. This is what it's going to look like, and you're going to print it off onto paper. You can use colored paper, white paper, whatever you would like. The image side that you see here will actually be the back of your paper fold. So after you've printed it out, you can see I have notes all over it. Right here is a fold line down the center. You can actually take that piece of paper and fold it right there. It'll be right here in the center. These are other fold lines we will be using. I just wanted you to be able to take note of that, where they're at. And anything I've darkened in is where you'll be cutting. These second sets are ones that you're going to cut from the first set, and you'll see when we get going. So we're only going to need one sheet of paper for this, and I am just going to cut the outside of this. I know where my fold lines are. It's going to be in the center of the leaves, the leaves, the leaves, the leaves. And we're going to do a fold line right here also. And what I'm going to first do is cut straight along there and on the outside edge. You're going to need to make a little hole in a few of these areas to get your cutting in here. So you can either use an awl or something with a sharp point to get in there to start your scissors. I am going to use this corn holder and just make a little hole here, but an awl really is a lot easier, or a large eye needle. Make a hole there. I'm going to need a tiny one in each of these little spots. So with some of these cuts, they're so close that sometimes I don't even take a piece out, I just make a slit. I'm going to start these, and this is where one of the fold lines was. So right where those tiny little angles are, right there in the center. I'm going to fold this down. You just want to be careful because you can see if you fold this and there's a little overlap here, you don't want to cut through all of that. Now there's teensy little things here. I'm just gonna make tiny little cuts very, very carefully. If you want to omit this, it really won't change a lot. It's just that it's so little. And you can see. Now let's do the next one in the same way. Okay, we're going to do our last set of leaves here. Remember when you're folding and cutting, less is more on this project. If you don't cut the whole image out, it's better to go a little less. And if you feel like you need to cut more, you can. You don't want to cut through your whole piece after you've done all this work. Okay, let's open this up. So I'm going to do this fold next. And so this is at a kind of a strange angle. You want to make sure the bird is right there. You're folding down the center of it. So this is the point where I know I had drawn this little hole in between his legs. You can cut it out with an X-Acto. I probably wouldn't even do it with these small scissors. I'd worry I would just chop his legs off. So I am going to leave that on there. Now I am going to make a couple more little holes here, right here, and very carefully right here. And if you noticed, I'm going to leave his beak a little bit thicker than how I drew it. Okay, so this top piece right here is a little tougher. So I didn't write fold line, but I really found that if I just carefully folded that piece in half, and I'm just gonna go real slightly, and I'm just making single, just little slits. And once again, you can omit this part if it's too close. That's all I'm doing is making little slits, and open that up. And I think the last thing I need to do, and I'm going to do it very carefully, is make a little hole where his eye is. Carefully separate it, grab a piece that's a little sturdier. I am just going to press this flat real quick. So I just used a steam iron, and you could lay a piece of parchment paper over the top and then carefully steam it down to get your folds out of there. And the reason I use the parchment paper is because you do not want your iron to snag on these tiny pieces. So after you finished your project, mount it onto whatever you'd like. You could even frame it, put it into a card. As you can see, it's a lot of minute little cutting. You really want to invest in some teensy tiny scissors for these intricate cuts, but remember, less is more. When you're cutting, take a little less. And when you open it up, you could take a look, see what it looks like, and if you need to, fold it back and add more. But after you've done all that work, you really hate to snip through the whole thing. Well, whatever you guys do, have fun.